This is on that picture of the Waco, the new revelation, to show the bodies of the children just burned to a crisp. No recognition of it. This is how I used to look. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, freckles. He's a cute little guy, very smart, very intelligent. He says, why didn't I get a chance to grow up? You know, why couldn't they have had a chance to come and see all this and to know that so many people cared? Some of them, the parents were from Hawaii. They were, you know, they had come a long distance to come for truth. And they didn't expect they would end up dying.
Yes, ma'am.
Their children behind.
Well, we certainly thank you, ma'am. And Grandma.
Yes, Grandma. She's doing better.
Kids playing just like it used to be, huh, ma'am?
She remembers when her other children, the children she took care of every day, were babies.
Yes, ma'am.
She misses them very much.
I bet she does.
We all do. We all miss them. They've all been somebody who we used to see every day in the hallways and see their mothers taking care of them. And when you see this paper and in the movies and all these different things, you talk about how they died.
Yes, ma'am.
And they talk about how they had bottles clutching, all melted to them. It's a horrible thought.
Yes, ma'am.
It's something that you can't dwell on much at all.
No, ma'am.
Put yourself at a stop sign and say, okay, I've gone as far as I can go over it. So you can't think too much more about this.
There's old Stewart.
Find something else to do.
Smile.
Hey, here's an Australian half pence on Clive's coin collection. Went to the fire, it's all burned. It's got a Joey right there that says Australia half pence. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Oh, it's one of Clive's coin collection we found.
Flip it over.
It's got a man's head. Pretty interesting. One of Clive's coin collection.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh, you bet.
It's been almost 7 years since the deadly fire ended the 51-day standoff between Branch Davidians and federal agents. But fire is still on the minds of the volunteers who are building a new church where the Davidian compound stood. Volunteers have been working on the church since September. Today they made it fireproof.
We've had threats out here probably about 5 different times about people that throwing matches out saying burn baby burn, and also we've had a couple of people say that they need to regenerate the land out here and they want to walk through the flames of this new church.
A company called Flamebusters Incorporated agreed to donate labor and the spray that will make the new building fire resistant.
Our main objective is to save lives, and people that feel more vulnerable will naturally have more of an attraction to take advantage of our services.
David Humphreys, Flamebusters president, says the non-toxic spray is one way of reducing the number of catastrophic fire losses.
It's the consistency of water, and it goes on just like water, and it remains dormant in the wood until it hits a flash point of 212 degrees, and then it reacts with the fire to form a crust over the wood to protect the wood, and at the same time it doesn't allow the wood or the fire to continue.
Once the fireproofing is completed, volunteers will put the finishing touches on the building. They plan to have it done before the 7th anniversary of the fiery end of the standoff on April 19th.
This you're seeing here is 21 days of work, 21 actual days of work, and we're going to change our strategy to try to get through by April 19th.
Ophelia, what do you think of the church rebuilding program?
I think it's wonderful. I really like the church. It looks so beautiful.
When you first heard about us talking about rebuilding it, did you think we'd really do it?
Yes. I never doubted it.
Wow. Because you knew Mike going way back, didn't you?
Yes.
The cameraman?
Yes.
Are you surprised that the government hasn't offered to help or hasn't done anything?
Oh, yes. I am.
You thought they would come out and help?
Right. Yes.
Why would you say that?
Because, well, you know, all the damage they've done to us. They destroy everything we had, and they destroy even our families and even ourselves, you know, because we had gone through a lot since then. My mother has been so sick since then. She's been so depressed, and she almost committed suicide. She was so depressed because of the loss of our family.
How many members of your family died?
6.
Who were they?
My only daughter and
What was her name?
Julie Martinez, and all her kids. There was 5 kids.
They had an opportunity to come out. Why did they decide to stay?
They were afraid. They were afraid to come out because you know what we were looking at all the damage they were doing to us, and they were destroying everything, and so we were afraid to come out.
Well, I know a lot of people were afraid to come out. In fact, the federal government even admits, the military admits that the tactical teams on the ground during the siege, when they would tell people to come out and get some letters from their lawyers or letters from the government, and that they would throw flashbang grenades at them. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
You talk about damage. What type of damage were they doing with the tanks?
Well, they were destroying all our cars, and they were destroying all around the kids' motorcycles.
And Ophelia, to Americans out there that still believe the government's lying, that you guys were bad people, what type of people are Branch Davidians? What was going on out here in '93? How would you describe life here?
Well, everything was peaceful. These were the happiest days of my life, believe it or not. We were so happy, and I was very, very happy to be here.
Was everybody nice to each other?
Yes. I've never seen anything like this before. You know, people from all nationalities, all cultures. We used to get along so well, like brothers and sisters.
We know that the federal government, for several months before the attack, the initial attack by the BATF and the National Guard helicopters on February 28th, and of course this is the anniversary of that day, we know that they were staying in the houses across the street. Do you remember the story that Clive and others have told me about how the people that owned the property before the federal government moved in actually asked you guys for help and for free? A bunch of men went over and helped them fix it, and then they were surprised to see men with guns going in there and staying?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about when the feds moved in across the street?
Well, they when they moved, they said they were students. They were university students, and but David never believed, and so you know we started getting acquainted with them, and David used to send people there to try to help and make friends with them. And they started to come over here to us, to visit us. I'm not sure if they came first, because they wanted to find out about what's going on here. I think that they shot the dogs first. Well, some of them shot the dogs, and some of them started shooting David and Perry.
So you're saying they drive up in the vehicle, they jump out, they run up, and in 10 seconds they start shooting the dogs and shooting the front door and shooting the building?
Yes. And then my daughter came in the room because she wasn't there, and she got me by my hand and pulled me down to the floor, and all the kids, you know, she threw them down on the floor, and
so you were shocked watching the men outside shoot. Your daughter pushed you down.
Yes, because the shooting was coming also through the front, through the ceiling.
Did you see any holes in the ceiling?
That's why she threw us on the floor.
Did you see any holes in the ceiling?
Yeah, oh yeah. The room was like a strainer.